Okay, I think we are live. Welcome to our Sunday 7 p.m. regular live Q&A. So on this show today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask the question which are related to e-commerce bookkeeping and accounting. So if you are in a chat, have any question which are related to bookkeeping and accounting, and you are the e-commerce seller, feel free to ask those questions inside the chat. And also, what I would like to tell you that this video is sponsored by Awesome. Awesome is a market-leading. It's a solution particularly designed for e-commerce sellers. Over to the Awesome, you have a dedicated accountant like Temur from Awesome is with us today as well. And also there are the things that will help you in terms of bookkeeping as well. Obviously, we will do the demo for the app at the end of this video. So first, what we will like to do is to ask Temur a couple of questions. I hope that will be helpful to anyone out there which is watching. And one other thing which I will like to tell you, that if you're watching this in a replay, I can promise you, if you are an e-commerce seller, this live session will have tons of value. So make sure you stick around. And if you have any question, you can ask me inside the comments as well. And I will try my best to reply to those questions when you will be watching that in a replay. Temur, how are you today?
Thank you, Zen. I'm good. Thank you for inviting me again. It's always a lovely evening to spend with you and sharing that knowledge we can.
Can you tell a little bit about yourself for the people who are joining us for the first time?
Sure. So, as you know, Taimur is my name. I'm one of the senior accountants here at Awesome UK. So I'm leading the team of accountants to fulfill and provide that e-commerce bookkeeping and accounting in UK at the moment. I have been with Awesome for almost about more than a year now. I joined last March in 2020. And a few months after I joined, obviously, we decided to become that e-commerce accountant and, have that expertise in that niche. And since then, I've been studying, analyzing, and researching everything and anything about e-commerce and how it all works, what is the systems involved in it, different markets, and how can we bring all of that together into one platform and produce that information that you can use to enhance and grow your business. So we've created a lot of automations, and that's where Awesome comes in. And Awesome has the technology and the app behind it that allows us to do accountants like me to perform that automation and bring that information all together. In short, we are an e-commerce we are e-commerce specialist accountants who focus on automating the whole process of bookkeeping and accounting.
My dad used to say, hide nothing from your lawyer, hide nothing from your doctor, and hide nothing from your accountant, because they are there to help you. So if you're going to hide something from them, then you're going to get into some sort of trouble. So that really made me think, like, if you're an accountant, a lot of people ask me this question, and you don't really have to give an example of someone with the name. A lot of people ask me this question, like, Amazon is way too competitive, eBay is way too competitive. And even though we tell them, like, it's not way too competitive, people who are recently starting to sell on eBay, starting to sell on Amazon, they are making a reasonable amount of profit from it as well. And you have seen the financial figures, and I believe there will be many of them who take services from you as well. So have you come across anybody who recently starts selling on eBay or recently starts selling on Amazon or any other e-commerce platform are making good amount of money?
Definitely. I think if an e-commerce business is making money, that makes us the accountants, do our job. If they weren't making the money, then obviously why are we here? So one of the question is the people that we are serving the accountancy service, they are making money, not good money, and money that we see keep on increasing. I have so many examples that, and whenever someone new comes on board, I don't just do this, that they come on board and I'm like, yes, this is your books, this is your account, and let's talk about 1 year later. We connect. right? I speak to them, I ask them what's happening with the business and how are they doing, and and it's a good thing because when you think about an accountant, normally you just think about technical terms. You don't think someone who will connect with you and understand your business. But we try to understand what the business actually is and how can we help in it. So when I try to connect, I've seen so many great stories only in this last year where someone was laid off from the job because of COVID, right? And they just started their business and selling small things, and now this has become their passion and their actually only source of income, that is running their whole house, and supporting their parents and supporting their family. I've seen, doctors and nurses going from a normal day-to-day job to doing something that is their passion from their home and looking after the kids as well. So in last years, I personally have seen so many great examples that have changed people's life and how they operate. And they're working from the comfort of their home. Although I won't say that it's all Greenland and it's all amazing. There is a lot of hard work involved in it, and there's a lot of sacrifices and patience. Because as you mentioned, so much competition is there. But
Yeah.
there is success after all of this, and people are loving it. People are actually doing it.
I mean, very interesting. A very close friend of mine, he approached me. He wanted to do something for his wife. I mean, she was with the kids inside the house and wasn't really doing anything. And she wanted to do something where she can do something from home and look after the kids at the same time as well. So I asked her, "What do you normally like?" And she said, "I like cooking." And I said, "Okay, do you know a lot about spices that we get?" They are from Pakistan as well. I mean, I'm originally from Pakistan, and there is a huge demand for Indian spices all the time, and not everybody live nearby a shop where they can buy those spices as well. So she said, like, how can I start? And I said, okay, you know what? Just go to Asda and start selling your spices from there. Buy from a retail, and it's like a true story. And she started selling off the shelf stock from Mazda. And now she came to a point where she launched about a couple of months ago. She launched her own private label for the spices. So she sources spices directly from Pakistan. She labeled them under her own company, and they are doing really, really good on Amazon as well. And they are selling across eBay. And now her husband was a full time, and he is working in some finance firm, and he left the job as well to go full time with his own wife, and together both of them they literally started just buying off the shelf stuff from Asda, and then it came to a point where they realized, okay, we're just gonna go for our own brand, and it's something which is selling already. So obviously, I say opportunity is always there, always. The late you're gonna start it, the more competitive this market going to be, and it never been. You can never say, okay, this particular niche or this particular product, nobody is selling it or it's completely untapped. There always will be other sellers who will be selling the same things.
Fantastic.
But the thing is, like, it's all about your unique selling point at the end of the day.
Agree.
So I want to start with, if somebody I will come down to the question as well. Bill inside the chat as well. D. William inside the chat as well. People leaving a question inside the chat. If you have any question, I will go through all of them. Leave them inside the chat, and we will take it from there. If someone is starting to sell online on Amazon or on eBay or Shopify, in the terms of tax and HMRC and all that kind of stuff, what would be their first course of action? Like how they're gonna start in the terms of accounting and bookkeeping?
Sure. Look, I think when you start a new business, the first question to ask yourself is what format do you want to start it with? So there are two main ways you can do it, either as a sole trader or as a limited company. So the first question to ask yourself is decide which one you want to go for. And again, there are perks, good things about both. So there's no one better than the other. There's just circumstantial and which one is better for you. So decide if you want to start it as a sole trader or limited company. Second thing is to make sure you keep all of your books up to date. The rule or the regulation is that HMRC can knock your door and ask you for last 5 years worth of books and invoices. So if you are, let's say, 1 year down the line, and you in the beginning you did not do your accounting and bookkeeping properly, and you try to claim those expenses, HMRC can penalize you for not having those records safe. So record keeping is crucial. And then finally, last four would be to make sure that you know exactly what your tax liabilities are. So I'll just mention some of them here, like payroll. Every month, if you're on a payroll and if you have any colleague on a payroll, make sure you do the tax on monthly basis. VAT every quarter, make sure you do that. Accounts annual basis, and then personal tax at the end of each year. So to summarize, ensure that obviously you have all of this in place. Plus, find yourself an accounting software that can help you. They're very cheap. It won't make a big dent on your in a bank account, but if you do that, it will make your life much simpler and easier. So those are the main things, and out of all of those, record keeping is the most important one because that will help you understand which application of taxes is due to you now.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, the VAT registration, is there a particular threshold for it? Like if you're under that threshold, you don't have to register, and if you go over, and some people like they wait for whole financial year to figure out if they go over 85K. Can you, I mean, explain a little bit on that one? Like,
Sure. So with that, there are two things. One, if you go above £85,000 in sales, then you need to register for that. And if you're not okay, you have a choice to voluntarily register for that. Again, there are benefits for that. Now, the £85,000 is on your pure sales, not on the money that you make, but whatever you've sold it for. Now, a lot of people make this mistake that they think or understand that the money they're receiving from Amazon is their sales figure. Or actually, in the real sense, whatever you've sold on Amazon is your sales, and every deduction after that is your expenses, and the money that you receive in your bank account is your gross profit. So that's not sales. So sometime if you're just looking at that figure, you might miss your VAT already because you're looking at the lower figure where you should be looking at the main figure. The second part is the period. So it's in the way it works is, have you made yourself £85,000 in last 12 years? Not in a financial year or not in an accounting year, but last 12 year. So what you do is you keep on going, and you let's say you're on first 12 years. Now you're going on a 13. Now you're going on a 13 month. What you will do is take 1 month off and then add 1 month on the front. So it basically is a rolling basis, and every 12 months you have to make sure you're doing the rolling basis and you're checking your sales of £85,000. Any month that you end up making £85,000, you need to register for VAT that day.
yeah, that's clear up many things. When should an Amazon seller or any e-commerce seller consider professional bookkeeping and accounting?
Well, I would say from day one, and the only reason is that regardless of going to an accountant on day one or on the very end of the day, you will always pay them the same amount of money, right? So but sometimes if you go to an accountant at the very end and just before your year end, they might even charge you premium for doing the whole accounting in one go. So the best thing is to get an accountant from at least when you know that you have a stable business and this will be a long-term thing. Get yourself an accountant. Obviously they will help you understand how you can claim expenses, reduce your taxes. So get yourself an accountant from day one, or as early as possible, to help you record keep everything, to help you do your bookkeeping on a regular basis so that you can see the figures, live figures of your business, and see if your business is making any good money or not, and then basically make those business decisions. Like for example, with us, we divide our cost on monthly basis. So if you come to us 10 months later, the charges will be whatever you like 10 months multiplied by whatever fees we charge on monthly basis. So you're not going to save any money for coming to an accountant very late. but you're gonna make a lot of good decisions by making get informed decisions if you come early.
So, other day I was talking to someone from Awesome as well. They was telling me they have a company formation services as well, uh, which I think comes free if you buy. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you buy any services which are over £100, then the company formation will be free. I think it is a package like that as well.
Yeah.
Uh, it's sorry. By the way, I left the link inside the description, and the link is in the pin chat as well. You can book a direct consultation call, which is for absolutely free, and ask any needs or any kind of needs that you have related to accounting and bookkeeping, and they will send you the code. But if you use that link inside the description inside the pin chat, you will get £100 off from the services. There are some services where you get £100 off on that one as well. I have some questions inside the chat, and we quickly want to address those. And if for those who are joining us now, what we are doing today, we are answering your accounting and bookkeeping questions. If you are on a seller on Amazon, you're a seller on eBay or Shopify, Etsy, any platform you sell on, if you sell online, Tamur is a qualified accountant from Awesome with us today, and we will be happy to answer any of your questions. The question from D. William is, they say, hi, my question is, if you use a private eBay account which you have been selling your personal item on, and now you change into a business account, how do you different item for tax purposes?
Okay. Um, well, it's very difficult to do that because if you're selling from same platform, you will be able to generate a report of all of your sales. In that report, there will be your personal items attached to it, right? Now, when your accountant does a claim, you can tell them that this was your personal item, not a business-related product. You don't. Then they will probably not add that as sales, and they will obviously not include in your tax calculation. But if HMRC knocks your doors, then they will ask you questions like this: the item that you were selling, they were personal. Um, are you selling the same type of item regularly? If yes, then they will take it as sampling products that you might have used to check the market or something. If they were completely different products, then yeah, you can prove that. And also they will check at the time you changed your eBay product from eBay to normal to business account, and when did you incorporate your first business bank account. So what they will do is they will go through an investigation process, and when that happens, and if the investigation is in the favor, which will be, because it's very easy to say this was personal and this is business, then you're okay. But if they get the hint that you are not you, but someone is selling their product by under private name but not calling it business, then obviously they will ask you to pay tax on it. So it's very circumstantial, and it depends on how easy you will be able to justify it, on what basis.
And I would like to add here a little bit. A lot of people have this misconception that you will only have to register for. I mean, if you are, when I say registering, in a sense like getting your UTR number or setting up a limited company, when you will have a business account. A lot of people have this misconception. And the difference between the private account and the business account is not, it's a eBay terms and condition. HMRC have nothing to do with it. If you sell a product, correct me, Tamur, if I'm wrong, if you sell something over £1,000, you will have to declare that within one financial year if you go over £1,000. Now, a lot of people say, okay, well, the difference is not being big and small. At the end of the day, it's your attention, according to eBay terms and condition. So on a private account, if you, let's say you bought something and your attention is to use it for yourself right out of the gate, not to resell it and make money out of it, this is something which will go. And later in the line, you said, okay, well, I don't no longer need this product. I'm just going to get rid of it on a eBay or Gumtree or anything like that. That will be considered as a private sales. But once you are buying something, regardless its use is small, it's 100 or 200, you're buying it right out of the gate and your attention is to resell it, You go ahead and sell it on your private account, you go ahead and you sell it on your business account, it doesn't make any difference. So the difference is not about big and small, and difference is not like you only have to register once you will have a business account. A lot of people, they keep their account like a private and personal, and they use it for the business purposes, but at the end of the year receiving that money inside your bank account. So if the audit will happen, you can't say that this was my personal account. The personal account does not mean that all the
Yeah.
product that you are selling are personal. It's eBay terms and condition. They want you to upgrade to a business account once your intention is to resell and make profit out of that. So I mean, this is a very common misconception in this one. If in simple words, if you gonna make over £1,000, I think it's a turnover, it's not the profit.
No,
Over
it is a turnover, yes,
Yeah,
£1,000.
over £1,000, you will have to declare those. Either you go in a loss or you go in a profit. You will have to fill up a self-assessment for that one.
Yeah.
So this is something which will really, I would like to say here.
But
Uh,
just to add one last thing, sorry on that. For D William, like I have a habit of changing my phone every 3 months. So I sell my phone and I get a bit of a money on top and buy another phone. But that's a very personal habit, and that
yeah.
does not come under. So if it was very personal, and as long as you can justify that it was personal and not business related, you're okay. But the moment there is a hint of, even if it being a slight of business, then it will be included in it, regardless of being it personal or eBay or business eBay, as Zen said.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't buy that phone with the intention of reselling it and making profit. You used it for yourself, and then you want to upgrade it. So at the
Exactly.
end of the day, it all comes down to your attention. Tamur, I really want to ask because there are many, I mean, bookkeeping and accounting services out there. Uh, but what is the unique with the accounting when it comes to someone who is selling on eBay or someone who is selling on Amazon? What is specific to the e-commerce business when it comes to accounting?
Um, when client come to us, majority of our client are coming from another accountant, and they complain, or their situation is that the accountant did not understand my business, and it is true, because it's not like a very normal trading business that normally you get. If you're a normal local shop, then the way you do business is quite different to how you do business at an e-commerce level. Now, for example, drop shipping. When you're doing a drop shipping, you're working as an agent rather than an actual importer and exporter. And the way you should be taxed and your VAT threshold should be based on your commission rather than your actual sales. But a lot of accountants obviously would not understand this straight away, because they have not experienced this part. So you have to understand who is the accountant who's and capable of understanding this, and focuses on this specifically. Majority of the differences are, when you download a sales report from Amazon, there are so many other things involved in it, that Amazon fees, Amazon commission, Amazon marketing cost, that you need to understand how to categorize them in the right place on your bookkeeping. Because if you don't do that, first of all, you will never understand how your costing is done, and your taxes will not be accurate as it should be. VAT is one of the most complicated element in e-commerce. For a normal business, is very simple. You buy something, you pay input VAT. You sell it, you pay output VAT. The difference goes to HMRC. With e-commerce, when you're getting stuff from outside the UK, this custom import VAT. Import VAT itself is an area of specialization in on its own. Then you get the things like Brexit and understanding how to keep on selling it, and the accountants there needs to know and understand every single line that has been published in Brexit to make sure it's still profitable or not. So e-commerce is but by look of it, it's the same thing you're buying and selling, but when you go into detail, it's completely separate. Like, even Europe itself has announced that from 1st of July, there will be new e-commerce rules, new e-commerce VAT implications rules. Why are they doing this? Because they know e-commerce is a completely separate industry with its own complications compared to a normal business.
That really comes to another question, and that's like it's a very relevant example of this one. Amrit is asking a question here. I sell a product on FBA for 14.99. I'm a VAT registered, and Amazon have my VAT number. For some reason, any item that gets sold on in Ireland, I only get paid £12.49, but anything in UK, I get paid full 14.99?
I believe that again. I wouldn't have to see what is happening on your Amazon, but I have two hypotheses. So the first is that Amazon Marketplace is charging this VAT on your behalf, and that's the new rule from 1st of January. Then Amazon will charge your customers VAT, keep it with them, pay it to HMRC, and will only send you a report. And that will happen on majority of the sales in Europe and probably Ireland as well. So I suspect that that's what's happening. So the good part is that you would not need to pay this VAT anymore because HMRC will pay this VAT, and all you need to do is do your paperwork for this. Or the second understanding is that maybe somewhere in the setting you have said this is net of VAT rather than gross of VAT. But I don't think Amazon have that kind of option at the moment. So I believe this is probably the first situation where Amazon is charging the VAT, collecting the VAT, and paying it to the local authority on your behalf.
Yeah, I think what's happening is Amazon, and this is again my assumption, and I'm no qualified accountant. I think Amazon is treating him in Ireland as an overseas seller, and
Exactly.
then collecting the VAT from the customer and keeping it with him. And if you see that 12.99 and 12.49, I think the calculation right here is around 20%, and
Right.
that's what Amazon is taking out. And then they passing it to HMRC on this behalf. And then I think the more already clear that he's asking a follow-up question. Um, are Amazon coming sorry, question, any reason for this? Are Amazon coming the VAT on the behalf of me? Yes, I think this is what they are doing. And do I still have to pay the VAT on this sale? I think Temur just have covered that. He said you really have to like
Yeah.
keep the record of the two sales and then justify regarding that.
Yeah.
uh, I'm not sure this is accounting related or this is like a more like a lawyer related question. uh, if I sell a product on to my friend's limited company and the product accidentally hurt the customer, will I be sued? Assume that my friend would sue me. Uh,
Um, just to understand, so again, this is a answer for a lawyer probably, or someone
yeah.
specifically in the product law. But the way limited companies work is that the first question goes to limited company who's selling the product, not the directors. And if there's any negligence by the director, then director personally held liable, and then he can probably held the supplier liable. So you're the supplier for your friend. So there could be a chain of liabilities going through. But again, a lawyer will be able to give you a more detailed answer on this.
Yeah, and another one, we are actually discussing a lot of things which are changing in the terms of Brexit as well. And along when it comes to those kind of questions, I will pick up one question which is Brexit related uh, as an example. So let me ask this, Tamur. Tamur, what exact changes that Brexit has created for e-commerce seller? For example, like logistics in Europe and stuff like that.
Sure. Just before I answer that, the changes in Brexit also links to what Amrit was asking about. Why Amazon is doing that. That's one of the changes that has come in place. Is that if you're selling products in marketplaces, and at the point of sale the goods were not in the local area, it's being brought in from a different country, then Amazon will charge the VAT and collect the VAT on your behalf. So it is to make things much easier, and how, yeah, be more compatible with different industries like US and Europe. Like in US, I don't know if you know, they have been doing the same thing. The marketplaces collect tax on your behalf, you don't do it yourself. So this is a new rule, and Amazon is implying that. Now, coming back to your main question of about Brexit, new changes, and what it means for trading in Europe. A lot has changed. Before, it was a single market, very simple and straightforward thing. You start selling on different platforms. Any order comes in, you just ship your product. The only thing you had to worry about was shipping cost. You could have used Amazon FBA like previously. Excuse me. So you were allowed to use Amazon FBA, store your goods, or use Amazon Pan FBA. Where they located your goods everywhere in the Europe, and sell from there. You cannot do any of that now. There is a now big line between UK and Europe. We are not a part of single market anymore, and we cannot trade as normal. We now need to treat Europe as any other country, like US, Australia, Canada, every other country. And what you have to consider is rules of those each country. So Germany, France, Italy, all of the 27 European countries are separate countries now. And if you're selling goods into those countries, you need to know what are the rules for that specific country. And if you can imply those rules, you can continue selling it. Now, after a thorough research, I've figured out that there are three different ways of continue selling in Europe. And they're all very expensive. So you have to figure out which one is the best one or not. So the first one is to make your customer the importer of goods. An importer of a good is a person who will pay the import VAT and pay the custom charge. Now, what happens is anytime you cross a border or your product crosses a border, your product will be subject to import VAT plus customs. So anytime you sell a good to any European customer, they will have to pay import VAT or customs. And if you say that they're the importer of goods, then they will do that. Imagine a situation where someone knocks at your door, it's a delivery guy, and they will ask you to pay £20 extra plus fill up this form. That will be the situation for your European customer. The second option is to get in partnership with one of your fulfillment centers, pay them the extra money, and they will do this on behalf of your customers. Now, I've looked at it for my own clients as well, and the parcel that he normally sends was costing me an extra 3.85 to send the parcel and £5 extra for doing the import VAT. Now, imagine one product, an extra £8.35 cost. Imagine what that will do to your profit margins. But that is an option if you still want to continue doing that. And the last option is to register yourself in those countries. So if you are selling goods in Germany, register yourself in Germany, send the bulk of your inventory in Germany, and then fulfill your whole European orders from that country. That's the most convenient, easy, and profitable option at the moment. And it does not have to be Germany, it could be any other country. But remember, Germany is the most easiest country at the moment because majority of the other countries require a fiscal representation, which means they need someone local to represent your books. Well, Germany doesn't. So again, if I go into detail, we'll probably spend a whole night here. But those are the main things that you have to consider: the changes and how difficult it is now without the single market and UK being a part of Europe anymore.
And sorry if I jumped the question. We will try our best to actually go through all the questions. But this question is very much related to what Timur was talking about. I'm an eBay seller and I sell in EU market. Do we need to be VAT registered?
Yes, you need to be, because if you're selling from, it depends where the goods are coming from. First of all, if the goods are coming from UK to Europe, it is crossing that border, it is crossing that line. You now need to be registered in Europe. And again, first of all, look at the country's own rule, because each European has their own rule. But if you're selling the whole 27 countries, European countries, you're selling it from UK, then you need to literally register for each country in Europe. Or you can just register in one country and send bulk of your goods there and do the fulfillment for the whole Europe from that country. So there are a few different options. It just depends where do you want the goods to be sold from.
Thank you so much for that. And the next question is coming from. Okay, I think we've been through this already. Here. Question: I have some suppliers from Europe who I will be importing a stock from. What difference is importing it now and before Brexit? What extra fees will I need to pay, for example, import duty and VAT, etc.?
Okay, three things. First thing, a lot of paperwork. Previously, you could have just simply got the goods into the UK and there weren't any paperwork involved. Now you need VAT registration number, EORI number to get the goods to cross the border. Then the finances. You will have to pay the extra import VAT plus custom duty and plus declare the health and safety of those products and to make sure those products are acceptable in UK. And then do the paperwork on it. So the second set of paperwork to make sure that obviously everything is recorded correctly. Now there are a lot of new rules. So there are rules like VAT deferral, which means that you don't pay import VAT on spot, you pay it in the next calculation. But again, as I said, if you get into it, it will be a long night. But a completely different way of doing those business, or even getting the import into the UK, because it's completely changing. As an importer of good, you will have to pay that import VAT. One thing that you can do is ask your seller to register for VAT, and they just do everything for you, and you just get the products into UK. But I highly doubt that anyone would want to take the responsibility on themselves. And also remember, if you are paying that import VAT, you're able to claim that back if you're a VAT registered business. So be mindful of those things, but it is completely different from what you did before and now.
In those particular thing, I would like to put in this question is, what is EORI number, and do I need both EORI number and VAT number to import to EU and list my product in, for example, any warehouse which is in for Amazon, which is in Europe?
So the EORI number is called Economic Operators Registration and Identification Number, EORI number. What that means is that it's a very specific number that is associated to you with your VAT registered number, and that will help you to get import and export into the country. Without this number, without this unique reference number, you will not be able to get the goods into the UK. And the reason they have this number in place is to figure out how much of import and export any single business is doing, and how much VAT they would be paying on their account. Without this number, there's no traceability. So this is basically a number with a reference for your business to do import and export. Do you need a VAT registration as well in with this? Not really. If you it depends on what exactly are you doing. If you're just exporting goods into Europe, then you need UK and Euro EORI number, and for that you don't need VAT registration specifically. But if you're getting the goods into the UK and selling in the UK, and at the point of sale the goods were outside the UK, then yes, you need VAT registration number plus EORI number. So what I'm trying to say is that don't mix EORI with VAT. VAT has this own rule, which makes majority of the businesses to applicable to register for VAT, and EORI has its own rules. But in most cases, almost 80 to 90% cases, you would need both. But you can get EORI number on its own as well.
D. William is asking a question again, and I will go to another one right here as well. We're going to touch on this question a little bit again. Uh, is saying, selling my personal item on eBay, changing eBay account to a business account. How do I differentiate my personal sales and business sales for the tax purposes? And also, Tamur, if you can address that one a little bit again, because we did this before. I would like to start selling on eBay platform. Do I need to open a business account and register to HMRC first? So anybody who is looking to sell online as well.
Yeah, sure. Now, in terms of how to differentiate your personal expenses to your business, you are responsible to maintain that data, right? So if HMRC knocks your doors and investigate, you're not using your personal expenses as business expenses, you need to have a system to show that that is the case. HMRC will simply ask you the question, and you need to provide that information. The way you can do that is either have a very systematic software, like for example the software that we use. When we see a personal transaction coming in, we simply post it to a director account, and that will keep it completely separate, and it will not touch your business account. But all the business expenses go into your normal P&L. So have a very robust software. It does not have to be one of the expensive ones, Zero or something like that, which will help you do that, and an accountant to help you understand which can be related as business or which cannot, because sometimes you can confuse. You might think it's personal, but it could be a business expense, where you could think it's business, but it is a personal expense that should not be involved in it. So again, you can even draw Excel sheets, and differentiate your bank statements and say this expense was this was that. But just remember that without any backing of data, invoices or paperwork, HMRC will not accept Excel sheet. So have an accounting software with invoices behind it. um, in terms of starting a business and when to register, as I mentioned, there are two business models. One is becoming a limited company or a sole trader. if you're deciding to just start and see and test the waters and see if this, e-commerce is the way for you and if it will work for you, the most simplest thing to do is just start with as a sole trader. You don't need to register anywhere until October. I think it's 5th of October. And that's when you need to register for self-assessment and tell HMRC that you're making money. But even then, what Zen said was you only need to do that if you're making more than £1,000 between April to April. The other option is to register for limited company. That you have to do from day one. You register for a limited company and you can start trading through that name. And from day one, you will not be held liable personally. Your limited company will be. So those are the two options. What I say to normally people is that if you're just testing the waters and you want to keep things simple, start trading. Do not worry about it until early September. And in October, when you need to register, hire an accountant and ask them to register you for self-assessment, and then see if you should change to limited company later on.
Darren is giving me a compliment. He's saying a reseller who understand the taxes. It's thanks to them more I understand the taxes. That's the reason, not personal.
Appreciate that.
Bill is asking a question. Is saying a question: if my wife, who is not UK resident, open an offshore company in Channel Island and doing a business with UK customer, will she be taxed in a Channel Island? I'm not sure, Timur, if you can answer that.
Okay, so a UK resident individual will be taxed on their worldwide income, right? But if your wife, she's not a UK resident, which means she's again, please remember, they're a UK resident and a UK tax resident. They're two different things. But I'll probably assume that she's not a tax resident either, because you have to be in UK for that. So if she's not that either, then she will not be taxed in UK. She has a company in Channel Island and she's selling to UK, then I think the only thing she would need to worry about is UK VAT. And probably for Channel Island, they will have their own tax system. I'm not very familiar with how taxes work there, but I don't think it will connect to UK taxes. They will have a separate tax system there.
Yeah, that will be most likely to be the question for someone who's accountant in Channel Island, I think, because they will have a local obligations when it comes to those sort of things. It's just like once you live in UK and you're selling a stuff in Europe, of course you're gonna have to speak to someone in UK. In your case, you have to speak to someone in Channel Islands there.
Yeah.
Just this question came up, and I want you to just give me a little bit difference right here as well. Is asking a question: any tips on QuickBook VAT is my Achilles heel? I'm not sure what does last sentence mean really. Okay, so let me, because I've been through this. I used both of them, so I will tell you my user experience as a consumer, and I will ask them more in a detail as well. QuickBook is a good software, but the thing is, how do I simplify for you? It's something that you will have to do a lot of stuff by yourself. So for me, the way I describe it, and I can describe it, it's just an Excel sheet which you can just use it online, and you don't have to apply any kind of formulas, and it will do the calculation for you at the end of the day. You don't get any dedicated accountant with the QuickBooks. So if you have a question like you having right now, and if I'm having a question, I can't really chat with somebody, and there are many other things which are not inside there as well. And this is where the awesome comes in, and this is very specialized for e-commerce businesses. And along with that, you get a dedicated accountant like Temur or anyone else who will be there to answer your questions, and not just in the terms of accounting, will be able to help you in the terms of business as well. So when I say in the terms of business, of course, have a discussion back and forth. Okay, we have noticed the profit margin for the products are very low. So is an accountant who will be who will actually go along with you on your journey. That's what I really meant to say right here. Temur, would you like to add something here?
Yeah, again, I think you've covered it all completely in the finest detail. But again, what it is with QuickBook, you have to understand accounting and bookkeeping and VAT itself. There's no one to help you. So the QuickBook is just like an app, and in this app, what you do is completely on you. QuickBook is not there to help you guide that. You know, people like us, like myself, I've done QuickBook and zero certifications to understand how QuickBook works, studied it in detail, and then apply those into, you know, our clients' information. And you know, you need to put the bank statements there. You need to select the auto feeds on that. You need to start reconciling those. None of that is done by the QuickBook or Zero itself. It's just a platform like an Excel sheet, as you mentioned, and someone expert in that domain will do that. And
Yeah.
Darren, if you want to do that, I would suggest two things: either get an accountant to do the VAT for you, or maybe do a small course on accountancy and VAT, and then do it yourself. But do not do it just by thinking of clicking few buttons will get my VAT return done. There are a lot more penalties and fines involved in it if you do it wrong than uh, paying your accountant or doing it yourself by specialization, and saving that money.
There is a lot. I mean, making it short, there is a lot of learning curve into doing your taxes on a QuickBook. That's the one right there. Um, I'm not sure what's that. Okay, question: if you don't pay import charges on some suppliers in China, don't like sending the item through the right channel, would that affect the salary if import incorrectly? Uh, I'm not sure what in Temur, did you understand the question? I'm not sure in what reference he's asking a question.
Yeah, I think I've seen this a lot. So this was the case before. Basically, before Brexit and before 1st of January 2021, there was a rule of £15. Anything below £15 coming into the UK, you would not have to pay any import VAT or even do custom declaration. So a lot of suppliers all over the world, they used to either undervalue the product, or they used to try different means. So if a parcel is about £100, they will send it in 10 different parcels, and rather not pay the import VAT and reduce the parcel value by under £15. And there was a lot of other things. So maybe what the question is saying, that if a supplier is doing this and not you, will you be held responsible for the import VAT and customs? So the answer is, UK works on generally accepted accounting principles, and it works on principles, not rules. What that means is that, they're not set rules there. They're just saying that do this in the right way you can. And if you already know that there is a supplier who's trying to avoid import ban and stuff, and you're getting those products into the UK and selling that, and if HMRC finds out, they will definitely, stop that seller from doing that, and they will probably question you as well. So it's always a good thing to have a bit of an ethical enforcement in the whole value chain of your business, to make sure that everyone is following the rules that they should be, to do that business.
Uh, Another one which came right here. Again, which I touched on that a little bit. What is the maximum eBay private sale you're allowed to make, and what is the minimum and maximum? Minimum and maximum. I don't think the difference is there is no minimum and maximum. It's the way you justify between the private and the business sale. It completely it depends on your justification as well. So is there any minimum and maximum, Temur, when it comes to private sales?
No, what it means is that, I think there is a criteria of three things. How frequent is it, that you're selling something? How similar it is, and how much it is. I think that there's a criteria that HMRC has laid out, which says that, when you're selling something, how often are you selling it? If you're selling the same item, buying and selling it every other week, then definitely it's not private. Even though if you think private, HMRC will label it under business. If it's similarity, so let's say you're selling the same item once every 6 months, but if you're selling the exact same item every 6 months, and you're making few £1,000s out of it, then it will be treated as business. And then lastly, again, the amount of it as well. So if you're selling every 3 months, you're selling something for like, few pounds and stuff, and you're making a little bit cash on it, then it's private. But if you're making big money, like you're making capital money, 5,000 6,000 pounds on each product, then it will be a business. So there are, again, we're not rule-based society, we're a principle-based society, and what you have to what HMRC will question is, would this be a business if you weren't thinking of private activity? If yes, then you will be taxed on.
Uh, Another question from Card Solutions is, uh, how can accounting software work for me? I manufacture my items, three items, make one and have a lot of variation. How will the calculation will be done? It's not buy and sell. So for he's manufacturing his own item, he's not really buying it from somewhere.
Yeah, I'll give you a relevancy of it. Again, I have a lot of clients, but I'll give you one relevance. One of my client, they buy a lot of ingredients from many different places, like as the Lidl and stuff like that, and they do bakery at home, and then they sell the bakery, and they have like 100 different type of variants in their bakery, chocolate bakery, mint bakery, mint item and stuff like that. So imagine the process that goes from the look of it. It's very simple. You're buying ingredients, you're making it, and you're selling it, but you have to do the inventory of each single item that you produce. You have to do the inventory of all the ingredients and expense those. So that's how basically, and what I'm trying to say is, it's not a very rare thing for an accountant or an accounting software to do. Accounting software are built towards this, not just buying and selling, but also for manufacturing businesses. And there are ways, you like Zero and Awesome themselves, they're quite compatible with this. There are ways. There is an inventory management system as a completely separate module on those accounting platforms, which can help you achieve this. You will put all of your ingredients or all of your raw material in that. You will populate how those raw material come together to produce a product, and then when you sell it, how it moves from inventory to cost of goods sold. So there is a whole system there basically.
Uh, I will touch a little bit on Darren because he said not big enough for an accountant yet. Any YouTubers who can help it all. So for any of you right here, this is the third session I done with the demo. I try because a lot of question which comes around tax related company formation, all those kind of stuff as well. And Tamur is qualified accountant from Awesome, who are very kindly to sponsor this live session as well. And the link for Awesome is inside the description. So it's this is the third one, and all the links that I have previously done, I mean all the sessions that I have previously done, the links for them are inside the description. So if you're watching now, watching in a replay, we have covered many things inside these live sessions as well, and there is tons and tons of value. So when this one will be finished, I mean they are inside the description, and the link for the Awesome, where you can book a free consultation call, and there are some services where you get £100 off as well. That link is inside the description as well. So the way that link work, you click on that link, you put your name and email address and the phone number, and you book your free consultation call. You explain it to them how your business is working, what are your requirements in the terms of accountancy and bookkeeping, and then they will suggest your plan. So the way the Awesome, which is I really like it, they grow with you. They have a different packages for different different for different requirements as well. So depending on at what level you are, either you are doing certain amount of transaction or you are doing this much transaction as well, the prices actually vary. So I highly encourage you, if you need accounting and bookkeeping services, and along with, you don't just need a software, you need a qualified accountant where you can reach to them all the time, just like you reach to the people on a WhatsApp. And I will show you at the end how the app work as well. The link for that is inside the description. You can start with a free consultation call and then take it from there as well. And of course, if you have any question, I mean, this is the third time that the more is coming over. You can always ask them, ask us here inside the chat. So that's not really a problem. You touched on the car solution where they used to manufacture their own thing. For the profits, it's buy one thing attached to another, and then stretch that another one to sell the final product as well. So he's I think sourcing a product from different things and then attaching them together and then splitting them. And uh, yeah, I think Timur really given you the answer on that. Is there anything else you would you like to add?
No, simply on your accounting software, when you use that, again, if you come on board, I'll show you how we would do that. But it's simple that we will have three different level of inventory as a raw material. And from those, anytime you build that, attach all three together and build something, we'll convert all of those three into one product. And then when you sell the product, obviously you make the profit. So it is very doable. Many businesses are doing it, and the accounting software is there to help you with that.
I'm gonna go through the rapid fire question and answer because uh, we're gonna wrap up within like 5 minutes as well. So if you have any last minute question, we're just gonna do a quick rapid fire. Okay, so Timur, do you have a consultant services for how to save tax? Is there people who are actually paying more tax and then they come to you and they realize they was actually paying more than they should have?
Give me a second. Do you have
Yeah,
a
sure,
question? Yeah.
sure, no problem.
So yes, we do have that service. So you can call and book in a service. And I think we normally, if you go to an accountant for a tax advisor, I think they normally charge a few £100. I think we normally charge something under £100. And we spend an hour with you, and in that hour we'll go through all of your tax situations. We will respond to you and answer you in that same call, and if you're not able to, then we'll get one of the consultant to respond to you through email. So there's a whole process of helping you. And yes, you can book that consultation, and I'll probably be able to do some discount if you're coming through this link.
San is asking a question. I'm buying from a local supplier and paying VAT in every invoice. However, I'm not VAT registered. Should I register VAT or best option for me or let it be? I don't do cross VAT threshold.
Yeah. Again, that's a very good question, and a lot of my clients ask me the same thing. What you need to know is, if you're selling for more than you're buying, then you should not, because you will end up paying more VAT. And when you register for VAT, you need to start charging your clients VAT, which means that the 20% of your sales will go to HMRC. Now, again, being eBay, Amazon, and all of the other market, it's so competitive, so you don't have that leeway sometimes. So don't register until unless you're certain that it will bring you back money. The only time that I normally suggest clients to do that, if they're making loss initially and they're not selling enough, they're buying more but not selling enough, then register for VAT. You will probably be able to claim all of that 20% back. But if you're making good sales from the beginning, then wait until you are asked to do that.
Yeah, that's will clear up. I mean, he will have to do his calculation and see if it's really worth for him to actually register and claim that VAT back at
Indeed.
the end. Uh, so thank you so much, Timur, for coming on, and we will like to have you one more time. I mean, probably as many time we can. Next month, and until then, if somebody in the chat, if we have missed any question or anything, you can ask inside the comments of this video as well, and the link for the awesome is inside the description. Demo, do you have a like an app where you can quickly actually show the app, like how the awesome app actually works? If you
Sure.
can quickly do the screen share and we can actually show to the people how different it is from them. And there are some people who are saying they will uh, book the call on Wednesday. I think it's a bank holiday on Monday. So
Agreed.
uh,
Please call anytime it's feasible for you, and we'll go through your questions and consultation. I'm gonna quickly share my screens then to show the app.
yeah, sure, sure.
Uh, ta- ta- ta. There we go. So can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all
So
good.
basically, you can go through the website and click login. And for the first time you log in, we'll give you the login details. You will come to this page. Again, you have an option to download the app on your phone, or you can use the computer to log in through there. And This is all you need for all of your tax and accounting situation. You don't need anything else. Everything will be done by us. The first page is very simple and straightforward. It shows all the conversation that we have had with you. Anytime you ask us anything new, it becomes a separate ticket, and the ticket will start appearing up here. And whenever the ticket is resolved, it will go into history, and if it's not resolved, it will show up here as a new ticket. Now, we take customer service very seriously. So each ticket that you have raised and any concerns that you had, you can rate them, and our management team will always check how the accountant or the bookkeeper is being rated. And if you have rated it less, you'll definitely get a call from one of our customer success team to check what happened and how can we improve it. But going back to it, click ask anything new. You have an option to type a message. Simply say, "Hi Taimur, I'm facing this issue. What is the best answer?" I will get back to you, or the team will get back to you within 24 hours. We have a promise of getting back to you within 24 hours. You have a small clip button here. That clip button is used to send us documents. You can use this, drag all of the items you have, and then send that to us. Or you can, from your phone, you can use that to take a picture of something, like you received a letter from HMRC, or you have to send us an invoice that you don't have a scanner. Just simply do that, and that invoice will come to us. And that's all you need to do your bookkeeping. You have quite a few other options. Dashboard will show you up-to-date bank balances, bills that you need to pay. So how much people you owe money and how much people owe you, and the breakdown of that. Again, this is very useful because it can tell you, like, imagine you have £21,000 in the bank account, but out of that 21,000, 9,900 belongs to someone else. So you can plus minus, and you can know exactly how much you actually owe and how much cash is there to be spent by the people. You can also see how much you should be receiving, so you can do your small calculation and you can find out exactly how much cash you should have. Normally this is a cash flow forecasting, which accountants charge you a lot, but this is something we saw we can automate it, and why not provide it with free if not needed. The second option is the accounting tab, where you can send again documents. These are the up-to-date list of all of the items that you need to send invoices to your accountant, me. So for example, on 22nd of April, you spend 134.40 on OB Media. Now, I don't know what OB Media is and why would you charge them. I'll Google them, but if I can't figure it out, I will put this up here and you will have it like this. You can click the blue button, take a picture of the invoice, or you can simply upload it from your computer, or you can actually go into it and leave a comment saying that this was a friend, and I paid for dinner, and that's it. We don't need the invoice anymore because you left the comment. Again, we had quite a few questions on how to differentiate a private expense to a business expense. Literally, this is what you can do. You can simply say this was a private expense that I've accidentally paid through my business, or whatever, basically, and we will reconcile it as a private expense. So this tab is one of the favorite tabs of our clients, and you can use this to keep up to date with your documentation. Company information, again, this gives you an update, deadlines, what's coming next, and again, basic information about your business. It has a small email ID which shows which you can give to your suppliers or yourself, and send us documents through emails as well. And lastly, file tab, again, is one of the most important tabs. You need to keep all of your records safe for almost 5 years. We are GDPR compliant business, and anything that you send to us will always be stored here for at least 5 years if you're the client of ours for 5 years. And again, as you can see, all of these tabs serve a purpose, and the purpose is to serve that compliance and information that will help you with your business. And that's what this app is. And this app is all you need to run your business, and you don't need anything else for accounting and tax purposes. Zain, I don't think I can hear you.
Yeah, I mute myself and then I forget to unmute myself. It's happened all the time. So there
Great.
is a direct communication option with the accountant, and you can save your. I think you have like a dedicated email as well, where you just email the stuff direct to that, and then comes inside the app as well, or you can upload that inside the app.
Yeah,
Uh,
what we've tried to achieve is, so imagine that you have an accountant and a bookkeeper on tips of your finger. So all you need to do is literally open the app and say, I was just having a conversation with my friend and he said I have to pay this tax. And you just send that message to me, and I will give you an answer. So we are trying to achieve the very informal relationship with our audience, rather than having to call them and set up a meeting and meet them next month or something. So we are trying to change the whole dynamic of how accounting works.
Timur, thank you so much for coming in, giving us your time. For those who I will try my best to actually answer the question, because the time is 4 past 8, and I'm fasting and Timur is fasting as well. So we gotta run for that, and we will have a Timur next. We will have him next month. And is there any question which are pending? I will post. Just leave that in a comment. I can ask him for the next live. Thank you so much for watching again. The links are inside the description. And I will see you next Sunday, and we will see Tamur together next month as well. Thank you so much, and have a good evening.